YouTube, hey, it's Casey Dimon, TaxSaleAcademy.com. Hey, thank you so much for joining me as we record an episode of the Tax Sale Podcast. If you enjoy listening to podcasts, check us out at TaxSalePodcast.com. You can download us on your favorite podcasting platform, and you can listen on the go. Let's go ahead and record that audio portion right now. Welcome to the Tax Sale Podcast, where tax sale investing is made easy. My name is Casey Dimon. I'm a tax sale veteran, the leading tax sale expert and trainer, author of the Tax Sale Playbook, founder of the Tax Sale Academy, and I am your host right here on the Tax Sale Podcast. I am so excited for today's episode, guys. Today I want to discuss with you the different ways for you to build a foundation for your tax sale business. Now, I've got an incredible amount of training materials about tax sale investing all the way from A to Z, right? And I'd venture to say that I probably offer the most tax sale training resources in the world between all my different platforms. I've got 500 plus videos on YouTube, right? But today, I want to go back to the very basics. I want you to have the tools that are necessary to build your business. I want to help you build the foundation that is required for your tax sale success. Now, I can't provide every single tool required for that foundation in a short podcast episode. That's why I have the Tax Sale Academy, of course. But at the very least, I want to get you pointed in the right direction today. And I'd like to start off with an analogy for you. It's an aviation-related analogy, which I've done a time or two before, but aviation can be similar to tax sale investing. One involves the loss of life, and one involves the loss of money if you screw up. Both are pretty serious to me. All right, so when I first started learning to become a pilot, I thought that I needed to know a couple things. What the throttle does, what the yoke does, what the rudder does, and that's really about it, right? The truth was, flying an airplane is actually a very minor piece of the overall puzzle. What the throttle does is not anywhere in the foundation to actually fly that airplane. I first had to figure out why an airplane flies. Like, why does it not just drop to the ground? I had to learn about weather, how compasses work, how airspace works. I even had to learn about the gauges and how they operate. The deal with aviation is that knowing everything about flying possible is the only way that you can fly safe. What if instead, when I learned to fly, the very first thing I did was walk into that airport, I grabbed the keys off the hook, looked on YouTube on how to crank the airplane up, figured that out, taxied down the taxiway, and took off on the runway. Well, I can promise you, the results probably wouldn't have been very good. But luckily, when it's a matter of life and death, most people understand the importance of having a solid foundation. But when it comes to tax sale investing, for whatever reason, why is it any different? If you follow me for any period of time, you know that I'm a straight shooter, right? I'll tell you like it is. I'll tell you, tax sale investing is an amazing business. It has incredible opportunities. It can be extremely lucrative and very, very fun. But I'll never tell you to start without learning. And I'll never tell you that you can get rich quick in this business. So today, I want to give you 5 pieces to help you create that foundation right now to ensure your long-term sustainable success. Now, hear me out. The titles might not sound life-changing, but they can become life-changing if you take the time to put all these pieces together and, of course, the other pieces that are involved to build the proper foundation in which your tax sale business will sit upon. Just like a house, you must have a strong foundation. Otherwise, your business or your house is going to come collapsing down. All right, number 1, real estate basics. That's right, the very basics of real estate. You're probably rolling your eyes right now, but the seemingly minor stuff is very, very important. If you've ever purchased real estate before, pull out all those docs and study them. Know exactly what every single thing does, what every single line on that closing statement applies for, what all that information means. Guys, if you've never purchased real estate, get to Google and start figuring out the entire process, okay? I teach all this stuff in the Academy, and you would be surprised about how many people email me after the very first couple of lessons on the basics of real estate, telling me how much they've learned even though they've already purchased 5 or 10 properties. Let me provide an example for you. When we buy or sell real estate, what are we buying or what are we selling? We're not buying an address. We're not buying a house. We're not buying a condo or some farmland. We're buying a legal description. We're buying the legally described land, the dirt that is described by that legal description. Of course, there might be a farm on it, there might be a house on it, or a condo on it, but we never actually purchased those things. We are purchasing that legal description and whatever is on it. Now, hopefully, right now you understand you need to begin researching properties a little bit differently. We don't research addresses, we research parcel numbers and legal descriptions. And if an address happens to fall on that, we also own that too. But that's just part one. Here's some other stuff to dig into. Chain of title, title insurance, title clouds, tax bills, millage rates, assessed value, appraised value, appraisal, official records, survey, CMAs, BPOs, depreciation, mineral rights, easements, WRAs, DRAs, deeds, agents, brokers, realtors, mortgage liens, types of tenancies. Guys, I can keep going for an hour, but you probably get the idea. You must know the basics of real estate to build the foundation for your tax sale business. Tax sale investing is not something you go in blindly, buy something blindly, sell it blindly, and make lots of money. It does not work like that. It is an actual business. You must have a foundation, and the foundation starts with knowing those real estate basics. Number two, real estate market operations. I've been very fortunate, I guess you could say, to have been through market cycles in my lifetime, in my career. And I can remember when any idiot could buy something this week, turn around, resell it next week, and make money. I can also remember the times when the guy's worth tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars. The big shots will lose their jets, their homes, and they would go and file bankruptcy. Markets go up, markets go down. That's a fact. Inside of each of these market conditions, however, we have operations or the happenings of the market. I'm talking about the market activities and how they impact what is going on. When Amazon comes to town, for example, what happens? Well, the market usually surges, right? That's a pretty basic example, but understanding how the market changes because of the cycles and the activities inside of that market is a pretty big piece of the pie. I've seen investors who would sell a dozen vacant lots 1 week, eventually not recognize a market slowdown, not recognize oversupply, and get stuck with 200 or 300 lots that they had to basically give away because they couldn't afford the taxes, and sometimes they had too much debt on them. So understand the real estate market operations. Watch new developments, new businesses, read and analyze articles about real estate and about business in your area. Follow and track different areas, different subdivisions. These are the activities that you can start on right this very second. Number three, marketing basics. All right, so you bought a property. Now what? How do you sell it? How do you rent it or otherwise make money from them? The days of putting a sign in the yard and waiting for somebody to drive by and call you are long, long gone. Selling real estate is easier than ever, however, if, and that's a big if, you know what you're doing. And there are plenty of ways to leverage the power of the internet to sell your properties, and that's definitely what I recommend. I've got quite a few videos on YouTube about it. Now, if you do it correctly, you can leverage the internet to the point where you'll be selling properties incredibly, incredibly fast. Perhaps you're even thinking about using a realtor. That's a great idea in many situations. But that brings up a whole other subject about how to find the best one, how to deal with them, and how to be that seller or that buyer that actually assists them in doing their job better so you can make more money. So dig in, research selling methods and styles, learn basic internet marketing, review other listings on a daily basis, review all the new stuff, subscribe to all the mailing lists about real estate in your area, attend open houses, find out what works by being active in your market. All right, number four, tax sale laws. All right, now we're getting into the more tax sale focused stuff. Once you got everything covered so far, you can get to the more tax sale centric stuff. The very first thing to start with are the laws. And guess what? All that real estate stuff that you previously learned about will really now start coming into play. And if you didn't take the time to learn it, these tax sale laws, they're going to be Greek to you. So go ahead and learn it if you haven't yet. But once you've learned it, then it's time to read through the laws. The tax sale laws are your business. They're what allows the taxes to become delinquent. They're what allows the properties to be sold when the taxes are delinquent. They're what allows you and I to make money as a tax sale investor. If you don't know these laws, then you are cheating yourself. You can dig through Google to get a hold of these laws, or we have the resources available for you, of course, at TaxSaleAcademy.com whenever you buy the Tax Sale Playbook, or if you join as a Tax Sale Academy Startup member, we have all those tax sale laws available for you at your disposal in an easy-to-find format for free. But whatever you do, however you learn about them, take the time to learn about them. Take the time to read them, study them, and analyze these laws. They are everything in your tax sale business. And number five, the last piece of the puzzle to build your foundation for a long-term sustainable tax sale career that we're going to be talking about today is knowing the tax sale process. And this will vary from one area to the next area. But the best way to do this is to practice being a tax sale investor. And now this might sound a little bit silly to some of you guys, but be a kid again. Learn how to pretend that you are investing in properties. Go through the entire process. Read the rules. Read the process that they utilize in that county. Read the frequently asked questions. Read every page on their website. Then get your tax sale auction list. Research it. Go ahead and source your funds, register, determine what properties you would bid on, how much you would pay. Attend the auction. If it's an in-person auction, go to that auction. If it's an online auction, watch it. Watch every single property get auctioned off on your computer screen. Go through all the names of the winning bidders. See how much they paid compared to your notes. Then do it in another county, and another county, and another county. Know the process inside and out. I've been to auctions before where the rules are being read, and I've heard and I've studied these rules so much that I can recite them verbatim. Get involved in tax sales. Get involved in tax sale auctions right now. Browse sites, read information, and go. The sooner, the better. All right, guys, I really hope this has helped you out to build your tax sale investing foundation. Tax sale investing is not about hopping into the captain seat and hoping you don't crash. Tax sale investing is preparing yourself for the success that you're desiring. It's all about building that foundation required for the sustainable, guaranteed long-term success from the very start. What we've discussed today are just a few pieces required to build the necessary foundation for your tax sale business. If you like the step-by-step training that so many have learned and leveraged into their own successful tax sale businesses, head to taxsaleacademy.com and click that join button. Again, it's taxsaleacademy.com and click on join. And if you're not yet ready to go all in, you can still head to taxsaleacademy.com and we still have a great resource for you. You can grab the Tax Sale Playbook. We'd love to ship you a physical copy of that book. Just cover the shipping costs, which is very nominal, to get it from our warehouse to your front door. Again, that's taxsaleacademy.com. And as always, guys, if you found this episode helpful, it'll mean so much to us if you take the time out of your busy schedule to leave a 5-star rating and a positive review. Take care, guys, and make it a successful day.